Plenty of juice in the building today here in Gainesville. A statement game for one of these two teams, Missouri and Florida, in the rough and tumble SEC. Welcome aboard. He is Damian Fishback. I am Mike Workin. It's great to be with you this Saturday afternoon. Today we feature two of the best big men in the Southeastern Conference, and having a career year is Colin Castleton.
Yeah, let's start with the home team. 6'10", right? 6'11", 250-pound rim protector. Look how he takes off and goes and gets this basketball versus Trey Hannibal. That's one assignment of this big. Second of all, he knows how to play with his back to the basket. He takes his time, observes, plays right to the double team, over that left shoulder to the right jump hook. Next, what does he do? When he's in the break, he knows himself. He doesn't try to do too much. He's patient and poised here, uses his body, Earl to Pearl spin with a little soft touch. And then last but not least, that's right, he is a willing passer, which is what you want all big men to be. Reads cut, and he rewards them with a nice finish at the rim.
I mentioned career year, not to mention coming off one of his best games of his career on the road at LSU. 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks, and a career high 12 of 15 from the free throw line. He'll be going up against another one of the best big men in the league, number 24, Kobe Brown. Look for those two to guard each other much of the day. 24 in black for Mizzou, who will have it first. Here in Gainesville, we are underway.
Nice energy, what you would expect here from the Florida Gators, going against a top 20 team. The Missouri Tigers coming off a tough loss at A&M.
Brown had a nice clear out by Ronnie DeGray to take Castleton out of the play, and it's a 2-0 Mizzou lead.
Well, we'll break down Kobe Brown's game a little bit more at the under 16, but you have seen him with 2 30-point games versus Kentucky and Illinois this year.
Gators on the offensive end, where they average 75 points a game. Coach Golden telling us today he really feels like they have finally found the right combinations and the right rhythm on offense. 3 on the way, misses for Will Richard, the transfer from Belmont. Brown goes to work. Kick out pass. And ball moving up top for Mizzou. Honor, the former Clemson Tiger. Diagonal pass into the corner, step back 3 on the way, knocked down. Demoy Hodge, one of the top transfers this year in the SEC.
So, Mike, the first thing we notice is that Missouri is aggressive. They're attacking, doing more of what they did in the second half versus Texas A&M. Second of all, defensively, Todd Golden and the Florida Gators are switching ball screens, and Missouri is attacking the switches.
And this is what Missouri does so well. They'll turn you over, and that'll add or lead to the easy basket, rather, for Gamillion. A quick 7-0 lead for Mizzou.
The type of response, that we expected from this Missouri team. We saw after the Kentucky game and after the Kansas game how they played extremely well.
Got to protect the basketball when you play Mizzou. That's an offensive foul on Alex Fudge. And Gamillion took it.
I always like to see responses when teams have tough outings, and Missouri right now is playing with a different type of passion. You saw Hodge on that 3-point shot. Gamillion comes down and finishes. How about the response, Mike, of Kentucky today on the road in Knoxville versus Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee came in all guns a-blazing. #1 defensively in almost every category in the country. Brown finds daylight and a quick 9-0 lead and a quick timeout by Coach Golden.
Like this timeout by Todd Golden, not allowing his team to get too far behind. Todd Golden, a great coach. He's going to make adjustments, but what you see is a nice slip of the screen. They are simply going at Colin Castleton on every play. And what Coach Golden told us before the game, he said, we've been able to use a small lineup who's really not that small, but Missouri concerns us because they don't really have a big man. Kobe Brown plays kind of like a 4-man, and I think Coach Todd Golden is a terrific hire, and he's done an outstanding job. Still trying to get it going, but we saw what he did at San Fran, and we know his history as well, assistant at Auburn and Columbia.
Yeah, he's coming off a signature win for this Florida squad. You and I had them in Baton Rouge with the victory over the LSU Tigers. Meanwhile, Missouri, as you referenced, coming off a tough loss to A&M, and the Aggies can do that to you. They just take you out of your rhythm offensively. They struggled in that game maybe the worst showing this year for Mizzou, but they have answered that with a huge start in this game, up 9-0.
Well, what I noticed, Mike, in that Texas A&M game is that their press was different. They were more of a 1-2-2. They were more reserved. They came out in this game and they are attacking.
Another turnover. That's the third on Florida, and a rare mistake by Mizzou as Gamillion throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, he thought that Nick Honor was going to continue to go towards that corner for the three-point shot. A careless turnover, but I like the tenacity and the mindset and the speed in which Missouri's come out and play. I'm anxious to see Florida's response, in particularly trying to get it down low to Colin Castleton.
Castleton with a touch, but outside the paint. Now gets one near the block. 10 to shoot. Castleton again. Muscling in. Castleton left it short. Well, he had a great view of the rim. Honor finds Brown. Brown on the attack. Blocked by Castleton. Castleton leading the SEC in rejections. And then almost another turnover. That would have been the fourth on Florida. And what did Todd Golden tell us the keys to this game? Number one, protect the basketball.
Yep, he said number one, protect the basketball. Number two, keep Missouri out of defensive transition. He said we go 1 of 2, it'll be a dogfight. We go 0 of 2, we could be in deep trouble.
This has been a Missouri blueprint. They lead the league in field goal percentage. They're 4 for 4, and they force a ton of turnovers. Florida's already got 3. Reeves, a flyby, a 3, and a miss.
Absolutely love the style that Missouri's playing right now. I thought that when they were at Arkansas, they changed their style a little bit and probably didn't want to get those athletes out and running, but they did that at A&M as well, and I thought that hurt them. They changed it in the second half, and they've done that today.
Little floater, misfired. That was Kyle Lofton on the shot. Gators can't buy one now, 0 for 5 from the field. Nick Honor, who went 170 minutes with just 1 turnover.
Whew. Impressive.
He's the Dane Bradshaw of the SEC, leads the league in assist to turnover ratio. That was for you, Dane. Beautiful ball movement and a bucket for Ronnie DeGray. How about this start for Mizzou?
Well, the last time Mizzou was questioned was after that Kansas game. We saw how they responded when they played versus Illinois. Texas A&M, who's a team who could potentially be in the top 25 if they keep rolling, had a tough outing, and now they respond here on the road with Florida.
Reeves had that one halfway down and out and lost it. Another turnover. 4 giveaways by the Gators.
Good look.
Wide open 3. Hodge left it short. Castleton taps it over to Reeves. Gators in transition. 2-on-1. Reeves got it to go, plus the foul. Gators finally on the board.
Reeves out of Macon, Georgia, the 6'6", 192-pound sophomore, had 3 dunks and 3 three-pointers versus Florida A&M, but this time the control and the finish for the Gators.
4 games. The upsets aren't just happening with home teams knocking off better teams. Teams are going on the road and picking up big wins. That's what Missouri's trying to do here today. Brown's going to get a breather for Mizzou. Let's see how they do without one of the top scorers in the league. Nifty move, no finish, but an offensive rebound for Golston.
Right now the ball's sticking too much for Missouri. They play much better when the ball's moving side to side.
Agreed. That was a settle on the shot by Golston, then an offensive foul going for the rebound on Mizzou.
Yeah, Rob Rourke right there on the call. It was the correct call. And Coach Dennis Gates obviously has a look of frustration on his face. Feels like it's a careless foul. And this is what I'm anxious to see. Like Todd Golden said, they cannot turn over the basketball, but I think they have to take it a step further. If they have opportunities, the Florida Gators have to attack and score either in their primary or secondary break against the Tigers.
And they were able to do that in the win at LSU. It wasn't all just setting up in the half court. This has been a half-court offense in this game so far. Nice cut to the basket, and no finish that time by the talented freshman Riley Kugel. Knocked out of bounds right our way. There we go. My first assist of the day, giving it to Rob Ward.
You made a lot working with me, brother. You're always dropping dimes with me on the mic. I appreciate that, too.
Well, when I see a Damian Fishback open on the wing, that's an easy decision. You just feed the man. Let him get in the zone.
Yeah.
Brown takes it right on Castleton. Fading, firing, back iron.
Fourth shot for Missouri. They've got to move it a little bit more. And I would say for Florida, they've got to do a better job of getting it inside to Colin Castleton. He's got a distinct size advantage. He's 6'11", 250.
And Castleton really hasn't been a factor. He's only taken one shot, no points so far.
Well, I get what the challenge is, right? Missouri is not only doubling, but they're doubling quick. And I'm anxious to see how they continue to double him. But even if you're getting doubled as a big man, we talked about it at the outset, he's a willing passer. So throw it inside, put Missouri in closeouts, and then the other players are going to have to make plays.
Missouri inserts the 6'10" Mohamed Diarra, but basically both these teams play a lot of small ball. Gators without C.J. Felder. He has stepped away from the team for personal reasons, so they have to play small ball. Three from the corner, rims off. Gators are just chilly from the outside, 0 for 4 from downtown.
Yeah, but I don't mind that look. 1,000-point scorer Myron Jones, that's just a three-point shot he's got to knock down.
Skip pass into the corner, it's Golston. Golston probes the baseline. Up top, East, rise and fire. Yes, nice mid-range that time shown by Sean East.
Absolutely love his game. Good size, quickness, and speed out front. Another guy who does a sensational job of taking care of the basketball for the Tigers.
Another transfer. There's a lot of portal power on this Mizzou roster.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, yeah, portal power.
Portal power. When you're a new coach and you got a depleted roster, you got to go to the portal. That's what both these teams have done. Now that's a freshman right there, Riley Kugel, and he's a really impressive young man.
Yeah, Todd Golden said he loved his basketball IQ most of all.
Golston dipsy-do. Nice move by DeAndre Golston. Transfer from Milwaukee.
Yeah, DeAndre Golston, about a 44% three-point shooter, so you have to respect him when he has it out on the perimeter.
10 points for Missouri in the paint so far in this game. Kugel steps into a three. Got it.
There you go. Now Missouri's going to have to make a decision if they continue to double Colin Castleton.
Jump hook shot. Short. Rebound Kugel.
This offensive end just as important as the defensive end as we go to break for the Florida Gators, because they are going to have to score to set their defense.
We've talked a lot of Colin Castleton. We'll talk some Kobe Brown when we come back on the other side. Missouri up by 7.
That's when he had 30+ versus Illinois. Second of all, when he gets it on the block, he is a difficult shot maker. That time goes off the off leg. And then when he gets it into the break, he's not an elite rebounder, but he's a tremendous passer as well. And he has great vision. And then last but not least, how about his versatility? He can step out and knock down the three-point shot. That's what he's improved the most for Missouri this year, actually shooting 41% from behind the three-point line this season.
He's kind of a throwback, right? Because he's what we used to have in college basketball. Players that stayed 4 years got better with time, right? I mean, his first 3 years, to your point, he only shot 24 from 3, 45 from the floor. Now he's 43 from 3, 57 from the floor, and he's gotten better each and every year. The son of a high school basketball coach back in Huntsville, Alabama. Kobe Brown has been a pleasure to cover, and what a great find for Dennis Gates, the fact that he stayed in Como for another year. Open three from the wing, and now they're finally dropping for Florida. That's Will Richard.
Yeah, Missouri that time tried to play a zone, maybe a little pressure on the inbounds pass, and the Gators make them pay. Now 3 of 7 from behind the arc.
Richard this year leading the way, 41% from downtown. 4-point game. East. Back iron. Kugel rips down another rebound. Kobe Brown, quick hands. Almost, yes, his third steal. Gomillion underneath, all set up by Kobe Brown.
Yeah, that's Missouri basketball. You think about the Nolan Richardson. We saw his picture earlier. The Rick Pitino's, the Mike Andersons, the St. John's now. Guys that like to play with that type of pace and play. Even Bruce Pearl does it a little bit at Auburn. That's what Kobe Brown showed us there.
Jones left it short and then tossed it out of bounds to Missouri.
You know, what makes this type of game exciting, this type of pace, is this can happen, right? Now, this is a defensive rebound, but Kobe Brown just doesn't give up on the play. He doesn't run down to the other end of the floor and set up to prepare defense, and that's what makes playing a team like Missouri challenging. You don't know where or when the traps will come from.
That was DeAndre Golston on that finish, and he's one of 3 Cleveland State transfers on the roster. Of course, Cleveland State is where Dennis Gates came from, 2-time Horizon League Coach of the Year. Brown passed up the 3, barrels in, contact, no whistle. Picked up, and a block foul. Noah Carter, he was determined to take that right to the rim.
Well, you commend Fudge for trying to take the offensive charge, but you can see Rob Gort is right on it. He was inside of that semicircle, and if you're inside of that semicircle underneath the basket, then it is an automatic blocking charge. It was the correct call.
Carter from Northern Iowa can't connect on the first one. A reminder, Tuesday night's basketball doubleheader starts at 6:30 Eastern time. We're talking about the second game. Brandon Miller leads number 4 Alabama, who has won 4 straight, beat Kentucky by 26 on Saturday against Liam Robbins, playing some great ball in Nashville for the Vanderbilt Commodores. That'll be at 8:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, I'll be anxious to see how Coach Jerry Stackhouse defends Brandon Miller in that game, one of the best players of all time. And, of course, Alabama and Coach Nate Oates off to another incredible start, competing for a #1 seed here in the SEC.
I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody in America is playing better basketball right now than Alabama. Just scary length on that roster. Skip pass into the corner, sets up a 3. Nearly an air ball that time by Richard.
Yep, like the decision that time. Missouri doubles Castleton. They've decided they're going to make the Gators perimeter players beat them versus allowing Colin Castleton to get going inside.
Tapped out, Brown on a 3. And Castleton hauls in another rebound.
I think you've got to work, though. You've got to continue to work to get it to Castleton.
Bonham has that one returned to sender by Hodge. And then a steal by the Gators. Inside, Castleton. Pass, shot, and a foul drawn by Richard.
That's what you mean when you say a willing passer with Colin Castleton. Even though he hadn't really gotten a lot of shots up today, he's only 0 for 1. He still understands the game of basketball. And as a veteran, a 5th-year senior, Todd Golden knows that he can trust to throw him the basketball, and he'll make the right decision.
Will Richard out of Fairborn, Georgia, by way of Belmont, the transfer. Good free throw shooter, 90% on the year.
Well, when you saw Will Richard play last year, you said this is a guy who, you know, could play at any level. He could play at a power conference school. I still think he's making that adjustment. Averaged 12 and 6 at Belmont. He earned a spot on OVC All-Newcomer team. But I think he's a great get for Todd Golden. And as he continues to play, you talk about those 3-4-year guys, he'll continue to get acclimated to the SEC.
Inside, Gomillion, little up and under. He got Kawasi Reeves to leave his feet. Well, nice job just drawing a foul. What he was seeking was contact, and he got it.
Gomillion's one of many veteran players on this Missouri team. When you think about the rebuilds going on all across the country, the new recipe has not been to try to get a ton of incoming 4- and 5-star freshmen. Instead, it's been to see if you can get veterans even if it's your own players from your previous team, to continue to enhance your culture at your current team.
Now you take a look at Dennis Gates. Mentioned the job they did at Cleveland State. He was an assistant under Leonard Hamilton of FSU for 8 seasons. Credits a lot of what he learned about the game of basketball under Coach Hamilton. Was a really good player for the Cal Golden Bears. He was a 3-year captain there. Dennis Gates knew that he had coaching in his future, went down that path, and has been rewarded by a coveted Southeastern Conference job.
Well, a pioneer and a Hall of Famer, Leonard Hamilton, has certainly set precedents that so many African-American coaches have followed. And both of these coaches, not only Dennis Gates, but Coach Charlton Young, look up to him and really give a lot of credit to him for their success that they've had.
Castleton on the drive, splits the double and banks it home.
Big
Where's
fella.
that been?
I like that.
Colin Castleton expanding his game a little bit in this his final season. Brown, strong move. Contact, but no foul. Ball goes out of bounds to Missouri.
No foul, but assault and battery down there. Colin Castleton does a nice job of hesitating, uses a nice shot fake, and then off of the window, and he's smiling. I love that. One of those big guys that have come back, Oscar Sheetway, Colin Castleton, Drew Timme, Zach Edey, so many bigs that came back in college basketball that were rewarded with this season.
He's averaging 15 points a game. That's 5 more than his career average. Really stepping up in his last year in Gainesville. 5-point game under 9 minutes to go in the first half. A couple of 2-2 teams in the SEC. Reeves scoops up the low pass. Into the corner, Richard. Now back up top to Coasi. Reeves on the drive. Missed it. Castleton there for the tip.
No call there. Missouri staff felt like that it was in the cylinder on that particular offensive rebound. No time to be concerned about that right now, though, for the Tigers. Florida Gators making a push here in the O-Dome. We'll let you make the call. Colin Castleton says it's good. It's off the cylinder. Give me my 2. Gators down 3. Anything. You see 7 points away from being a 1,000-point scorer. Not sure what he's talking to Todd Austin about. Maybe he's saying, can I get a few more calls? And I appreciate you not calling that one in the cylinder there, because I needed those 2 points. I'm trying to get to 1,000.
That's right. He's 7 away. 7, by the way, he'd only be the second Gator transfer to ever do it. And the last one was Dorian Finney-Smith. The last Gator to hit 1,000 period was Chris Chiozo. Those are 2 guys enjoying life in the NBA. A couple of stars for one. Former head coach Billy Donovan. By the way, quick story. I go to dinner last night. I go to Spurrier's restaurant. First time I'd ever been. It's unbelievable, folks. Might be the best restaurant going in the SEC when you combine everything.
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting there by myself, just, you know, me, life on the road, Fish. You know, sometimes it can be a lonely existence. So I'm just talking to my server behind the bar, and he knows a lot of basketball. Young kid. I'm like, how did you learn so much about hoops? Manager comes over and goes, yeah, you don't know who that is? That's Billy Donovan's son, Brian Donovan. I said, oh, my goodness. That makes a lot of sense.
I think Billy D would like this game. How about you?
I think so, too. Now, Billy Donovan, of course, the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. 2 national championships in Gainesville.
Back to back, right?
Yep. 4 Final Fours total. Al Horford's still playing in the NBA. Part of those 2 national championship squads, the ageless Al Horford.
Ageless, wow.
And then, I mean, he's flirting with 40 at this point, and he's still putting up numbers in the league.
You know, when they made that run, Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, one of the best front lines ever, and Al Horford, you know, you watch them, but I don't know if I would have thought that Horford would have played as long and has been, you know, as successful. Just shows you the work ethic.
Don't forget next week's Thursday night women's basketball doubleheader, highlighted by Aaliyah Boston, #1 South Carolina taking on Vandy, and then it's Arkansas taking on #5 LSU.
Yeah, two teams that could win it all, South Carolina and LSU. Coach Mulkey both doing a fantastic job.
It's like Death, Taxes, and Dawn Staley's team in the Final Four, right? I mean, it's pretty much expected. By the way, we're talking about those back-to-back national championship teams. You've got Lee Humphrey does radio for Florida, and Tarian Green is on the staff for Todd Golden. There's Tarian Green. Boy, I mean, time flies. What was it? About 15 years ago, he was the point guard on those back-to-back national championship squads.
Yeah, he's aged well.
He's like you, Fish. He's got that special cream or whatever you guys use.
That's pretty good, Mike.
It's all about moisturizer, right? Castleton with a paint touch is
They
finished.
need to put some moisturizer on that basketball to keep it out of Colin Castleton's hands. He's been fabulous here in the last 7 to 10 minutes.
Point game, 7 minutes to go.
Right now, if you're Missouri, this is where you have to be really good in the half court. Be patient and poised.
DeGray lobs it over the defense into Brown, and a foul call. That's a great entry pass by DeGray. A little surprised Brown didn't finish, but he will go to the line.
Well, those are the type of plays he's got to finish. And, you know, this is something I only found out probably a few minutes before the game, but it's Coach Dennis Gates' birthday today. So those are the type of baskets he needs if he wants to win for his birthday today.
Absolutely.
Speaking of another guy who's aged well, my goodness,
Yes.
how young does he look?
I know. Kobe Brown now 5 points, 3 steals. Got that one short. A 4-point game, and did they get Castleton swinging the elbows? Chameleon hit the deck. That would be the second foul on Colin Castleton. I turned my head, Fish, to the front, and I didn't see it live. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
They're going to take a look at it.
Yep.
But anytime, and that's something that they've really done a nice job of taking out of the basketball game. That's something that when we played just a couple of years ago, you know, me and Ron Slay and Pat Bradley, just a couple of years back. But anyway, they used to actually teach you to squeeze that orange and swing your elbows left and right. But today, that's an obvious foul. We'll see what kind of foul it is. And Todd Golden's upset. He's showing the motion for a flop. And I'll tell you, Todd Austin's doing a nice job of showing restraint, realizing that Coach Golden's a little upset. I like that he didn't give him a technical foul on that, because he could have.
Nothing has been confirmed yet. You see Byron Jarrett and Todd Austin. This is really a fun matchup, I got to say. This is what I love about this league, because, I mean, we know who the heavyweights are at the top, but, man, the middle is awfully good. And these two teams right now, you're sitting there at 2-2. Boy, 3-2 sounds a heck of a lot better than 2-3, right? Because there's so many tough games ahead on each schedule. And I just had a feeling coming in. I still have a feeling that we're coming down to the wire here in Gainesville, Fish.
Well, people talking about the upset of South Carolina. How can South Carolina go in and beat Kentucky? Not remembering that P.J. Hall's first game back at Clemson, South Carolina was able to knock Clemson off, who came into the day undefeated in the ACC. There's so much parity in this game. Anybody can beat anybody.
Jump ball. Arrow goes to Missouri. Yeah, if you had Clemson #1 in the ACC on your bingo card, you're sitting pretty, because I don't think many people predicted that right now. It's good defense keeping the hands up by Ronnie DeGray.
Clemson's got a big one at home versus the Duke Blue Devils today.
Yep. Missouri trying to snap a drought that has lasted nearly 5 minutes. Brown goes to work. Had a size advantage. 3 ball from the corner. That's a former Clemson Tiger, Nick Honor.
Yeah, I think at times you see no field goals over the last 5 minutes. I think at times Missouri's a little too unselfish. They pass up some good looks.
Swarming defense by Missouri. No good looks there for Lofton. And a whistle before the pass. And a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, so if you're Kobe Brown on that play, and he's had problems getting into foul trouble. You know, our first question when we spoke with Coach Dennis Gates yesterday was, you know, what can Kobe Brown do better? And this is one, that's actually a tough foul against him, quite frankly. That's one where you got to let it go. But anyways, you know, that's one where if you're Kobe Brown, you just try to move your arm out away. Even if you allow Colin Castleton to have the basketball, work more with your feet versus with your body.
And the Gators give it right back on a turnover. They started off this game kind of sloppy on the turnovers, then calmed down a little bit. And now that is the 10th turnover of the half for Florida.
Love the fire in Coach Todd Golden, and you can see that fire defensively. Missouri came out, really punched first, but since then, what a counter punch by Todd Golden and the Florida Gators hold Missouri 4 of 18 from the field.
Brown, again, mismatch. That's a jump ball.
Yep. He had all ball. I thought it was a nice job of Lofton using his hands. Let's take a closer look. Yeah. If you're Kobe Brown, you just got to be stronger. Take your time. A lot of times when you have a mismatch, the offensive player rushes his game down low because you're scared of the double team or what have you. That's a time where Kobe Brown has to just be patient and go up strong.
So they're matching up the 6'3" Kyle Lofton with Kobe Brown down low. Castleton goes to work on Brown. Missed it. Not a bad look. Just got to finish.
Yeah, much better defense that time by Brown. How about the steal by Kugel?
Kugel all the way to the hole and a goaltend on Brown. Riley Kugel gets the deuce off the steal.
Really like this young freshman. Showed us a lot in the previous game versus LSU. He simply reads that pass. It was a telegraph pass, and Kugel gets out on the break. Beautiful shot off of the window for the 4-star prospect and state champion out of Dr. Phillips High School.
2-point game. Missouri has not hit a field goal in over 6 minutes. East in trouble. Diarra pivots, not once but twice, throws up a prayer, not answered.
Yeah, Diarra still raw. Really still trying to learn the game under Coach Dennis Gates. They're trying to use him because they know they need more size.
Reaching foul on Kobe Brown, all set up by the pass from the freshman Riley Kugel. That's the second foul on Brown.
Nice job of Kugel handling the basketball in traffic. Once again, for Missouri, if you're Kobe Brown, you got to realize your value for your team and realize when to go for the play and when you can't go for the play.
First free throw up and in. You know, watching some of this game early on, we had a great conversation with Dennis Gates, and we asked him just kind of his impressions of the league. You remember, he was a longtime assistant at the ACC before becoming a head coach at Cleveland State. He said, I'm going to tell you, it's a bloodbath. Game in, game out. He actually wants to see more whistles, but he has just been amazed by the physicality of these games, particularly in conference play now, where every game, night in, night out, Fish, you got big, athletic, explosive bodies banging with one another.
It's a young league. It's a very athletic league, and it's a very physical league.
Brown off a curl. Brown right down the runway with the slam.
Beautiful set off of the interchange of possessions that time by Coach Dennis Gates. And you've seen that in some of their bigger games, whether it's a backdoor lob versus Illinois or a slipping up the screen versus Kentucky.
So Missouri off the schneid offensively. Florida will try to respond in kind with the shot clock ticking down to 5. Kugel going to have to launch. Contested 3. Off the mark, and Brown rips down another board.
Yeah, that was a little too much pounding of the ball by Lofton on that particular play.
Golston, one-on-one. Tough shot, rims off, flying in for the rebound, then the block. The block that time by Richard. Loose basketball, and it will belong to Florida.
Nice hustle. You can see the importance of this basketball game. Both teams want it bad, but right now nobody wants it as bad as Kobe. I'm a bad man, Brown.
That old style pressure Razorback defense that Missouri's putting them on the Gators.
I heard Mike Morgan say something about the best restaurant in the SEC. What was that, Mike? We didn't hear it. I need to know.
I'm just saying there's a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones. In fact, I could name probably top 3 in each city that have been around this league a while, Fish.
I got some ones I would not name, but I'm not going to put them on blast like that, Mike.
No, not just yet. The word to the wise, get Fish a table next time. Don't make him wait. Spurrier's, the Hall of Fame coach here, they opened up a spot about a year ago, and I'm telling you, it is top notch. The atmosphere, the food, and everything.
If you can get in.
Well,
not Spurrier's.
Not
Spurrier's
Spurrier.
off the chain.
There's a great sushi place in town.
Well, we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that because Fish couldn't get a table last night, but you found a good choice.
Oh, I love Harry's.
There we
Harry's
go.
was nice. Harry's was nice.
Oh, good.
We handled that correctly, don't you think?
We're breaking down the entire buffet in Gainesville. There's a 3 knocked down by Kyle Lofton.
How about this response? And it's exactly what Todd Golden said. They stopped turning the basketball over and have kept Missouri out of transition.
That is the first lead for Florida with 2.5 to go in the first half. Strong take and an one. Beautiful drive by Noah Carter out of the state of Iowa, the transfer from Northern Iowa.
You know, this is an intriguing matchup for me because Coach Todd Golden went with the small ball, and I thought that helped him against LSU, but I'm not sure how it's going to work in this Missouri game because of what he told us, right? They've got guys that are kind of small and mobile and versatile too. So this is really a huge game of positionless basketball outside of Colin Castleton.
Yeah, he's the only true 5 that really logs a lot of minutes. As you mentioned, Diarra's very raw. He's on the floor now for Mizzou, but he's not really a guy they run the offense through. Positionless basketball, small ball. Sometimes it's the most exciting brand of basketball, and we've got it for you here today. Castleton.
Nice. Look how far Golston had Castleton off of the block. Now, one thing I do like about Colin Castleton is he can get it off of the block and still knows how to take it off of the bounce to get in the position where he wants it to be. However, if you can push him off the block, you make him work a lot harder, and that's what Missouri did on that last play.
Well, you mentioned our last game, post and then repost.
That's
what
right.
about give it back and then get deeper on the repost?
We don't see that anymore.
We don't see that. It's gone the way of the dodo.
Start, man.
I know it.
I'm just happy that we got some guys playing with their back to the basket.
That's true. That's true. Golston has it pop out. Another board for Castleton. He's got 6 caroms already in the half. 2-point game.
You got East fronting the post right now, and Golston on the other side doing a nice job of helping.
There's the double. Castleton turned it over. The double works. Now Missouri trying to make a pay on the other end. Hunter steps into a 3. Flying in for the rebound was Fudge. It'll be Gator basketball.
And that's the give and take with Missouri basketball. They're 1 of 8, and Missouri can knock down 3-point shots. We saw that against UCF. We saw that against Illinois. We saw that against Kentucky. But I think some of those shots
or just harder, more challenging shots where they could get better looks, but it's part of their pace and style that they're playing with.
That's one of those where you just hear footsteps. The Missouri pressure all game long. You're Myron Jones. There's really nothing there to force a turnover. He felt it and just dropped it out of bounds.
Well, that's why when you're playing teams like Missouri and like what Pat was talking about, those old Arkansas teams and Nolan Richardson, you want to stay away from the sidelines. Stay away from those, what we call coffin corners, when you have the sideline and the baseline that are like two extra defenders.
Approaching the one minute mark of the first half. Hodge cut off at the baseline to Brown, up top to Carter. This is East. East with 5. East with 3, and he carried it.
Nice job of Florida, just doing a nice job of really staying in front of the Missouri Tigers, man to man. And that's what Coach Todd Golden said when he said, we want to turn them into a half-court team. Because in transition, Missouri does a nice job of penetrating, kicking, moving, and reversing it. But in the half court, it gets sticky, and they hold it more.
7th turnover on Mizzou. Down to the baseline, into the hands of Richard. Boy, it's fun to watch how they are defending Castleton. Right now, they've got him 25 feet from the basket. Kugel. And a reach-in foul on Hodge. And that is foul number 8 on Mizzou, so a 1-and-1 upcoming for Florida.
Yeah, pretty clean basketball game, right? We talked about Riley Kugel earlier and his ability to not only give you great size on the wing, but being an immediate contributor. You know, you think about the big games they've played, the UConns, the Xaviers, the Oregon State. Those are the games where Riley Kugel has been a double-figure scorer.
Yeah, 13 and a loss to UConn. Tuesday night's basketball doubleheader will begin at 6:30 Eastern time, and the nightcap will be Alabama, 4th ranked for now. Could be climbing in the new poll, taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores. That'll be at 8:30 here on the SEC Network. He is Damian Fishback. I am Mike Morgan. We wrap up the final 35 seconds of half number 1. All knotted up, 28 apiece. Honor. Up top, Carter launching a deep 3. Back iron. Castleton rips it down. Gators have 6 seconds to go. Kugel lost it from behind. Hodge for 3. Rims off, and that's how the half will come to a close. All knotted up at 28 apiece.
Good first half. Both teams punched and counter-punched, 2 different styles. One where Missouri dominated. Secondly, Florida recovers with 3s and taking care of the basketball.
Felt more like a Mike Tyson than a Frazier half to me. 28-28, our halftime score. The gang in studio is going to keep you entertained.
Great stuff out there in Gainesville, guys. We'll check back in with you guys in just a few minutes as we welcome you into the SEC Halftime Report. Let's get it going with some of the top teams in the conference. Arkansas on the road at Vanderbilt. Second half, Commodores down 6. Trey Thomas gets the mismatch, takes advantage.
Trey Thomas looking real comfortable in his home right there in Memorial Gymnasium. Better get a hand up.
Next possession, Tyron Lawrence step back shot doesn't fall. Miles Studi there on the tap in. Vandy down 1. That would cap off a 16-7 run, Shooter.
Yeah, Arkansas has not been able to stop Vandy in the end of the second half, and that's what's helped them. You don't see that often. Anthony Black makes that consistently. Look out! Hey. Look out!
Razorbacks were down 2, now 8 at that point. Jordan Wright gonna knock down the tough mid-range jumper. Vanderbilt up 10 now.
Yeah, they put him on their hip and they're carrying him to the finish line right now. It's a fight though, a dog fight. This move right here, a side baseline fadeaway one-handed.
Vandy with the lead right now.
Yes, it is.
Less than a minute to play in that one. Kentucky on the road taking on Tennessee. Pre-game, Vol great Chris Lofton's jersey was retired. Second half, it's a tie game, 48 apiece. CJ Frederick for 3. Kentucky takes the lead.
That's what he's supposed to do, right? That's what we knew he could do. If he and Reeves can make some jump shots, they get a chance.
Oscar Tshiebwe putting in work with the rebound and the bucket.
Those are the uncharacteristic things that Tennessee was doing today. Leaving guys open for shots, not getting rebounds is terrible.
Still fighting, though. Plopchich share in the paint for the layup. Tennessee within 2 now. 12 seconds remaining. Tennessee down 5. Zakai Ziegler airballs it. And Tennessee with not enough gas to defend home floor. Kentucky getting the upset 63-56. And I think that's where we need to start as we welcome you into the studio. Pat Bradley, Ron Slay, Alyssa Lang here with you. Slay, you texted out, tweeted out to Tennessee fans, relax, it's going to be okay. But we got to start with Kentucky, a team that desperately needed this win. What did the Cats do well?
They came out with physical. They came out to hit Tennessee in the mouth. Even though they were down 8-0 early, it was about clawing back. What are we going to do? We're going to go down here and fight the entire game. Got in the paint, owned it. Tshiebwe followed his lead. He called his teammates out, and they answered. And that's what you want anytime you get into a game like this.
It helps when Antonio Reeves and C.J. Frederick go on the road and make jump shots. Something that is not easy to shoot, not only against a Tennessee defense, but on the road. However, they only made 5 threes. That's all Kentucky needs to make. Right, Ron? 6. They have enough defense, athleticism, and for me, it was their defense, Kentucky's defense. That's something that it should be a non-negotiable every single time. They lose to South Carolina because of the inability to stop South Carolina's offense. They were able to do that, Tennessee.
For Tennessee, it felt like certainly towards the end of this game, Slay, they couldn't buy a bucket. 11 missed layups. How does Rick Barnes address that now moving forward?
Well, they talked about it earlier. He put little tape on the backboard to be able to make layups. If you can't make a layup, you miss 11 of them, you're giving an opportunity to the team to get out and run, not only stopping you from getting easy buckets, but layups and threes, that leads to transition, and it's fuel for the other team. So you got to get back in the lab, concentrate and focus in, and he'll help them fight up.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, yeah, there were a lot of point-blank shots. Tennessee's going to be able to look back on this game, and it's just a few possession game.
Yeah.
I think the biggest story is Kentucky. And everybody relax, right? Is that what Coach Cal says? Take it easy. Time is what they need. Time. It is going to be about their energy, effort moving forward, Kentucky. We know that they can go to a team like Tennessee and
we
win.
just need the clip of Shooter saying, take it easy, everybody in Lexington. Hey, it's now an 11-point game out in Nashville. Vanderbilt on top of Arkansas. We'll keep you updated on that one. What have you guys seen so far in a tie game, though, between Missouri and Florida in the first half?
I've seen Florida get back into it by doing what we said they needed to do early. Get out and run and get stops. And then you're getting offensive rebounds by your guy like Calston, but Will Richard, he's a guy putting the ball in the hole for him.
That's one thing Missouri is they struggle with defense rebound. You can get on the glass and beat them that way. What they do, though, they get those possessions back.
Yeah.
How do they do it? Their hands, quick hands.
Yeah.
But this one, as we said, tied 28 apiece here at the break. The second half, I'm sure, will be full of fireworks. How about Missouri early and Kobe Brown with the slam?
Throw it down.
We'll be right back in a moment.
Dear Dr. Martin Luther King, we are living in your legacy, and your message endures in our game. I believe that today, Dr. King, you warn us that we have not reached the mountaintop. Injustice remains. Your legacy is hope and belief, but also radical change. In the game behind the game, we still must overcome.
Second half action about to get underway here in Gainesville. Knotted up to 28. And a very physical first half in which Missouri forced the Gators into 14 turnovers. The problem after that fish was that Missouri went really cold shooting the basketball. That kept Florida in this game.
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves in the first half, right? So most of those turnovers, actually 4 of them, came from that man right there, Colin Kaepernick, in the first half. It was almost like the Gators were shell-shocked, and then they settled down a little bit. Todd Golden called a timeout. and really got them going. The truth of the matter is, Missouri, like most teams that need to press, they need to make shots to get into their press, right? And so when they went cold, it also hurt their defense and their ability to turn the Gators over and vice versa. As the Florida Gators began to get stops, it allowed them to be in a better position offensively and defensively because their defense was set.
Leading scores, it's the freshman Riley Kugel leading all scores with 10 points. Colin Castleton was a little bit on the quiet side. He did have 7 points. Missouri double teaming him most of the first half. Anything you want to see differently out of Mizzou on offense?
Well, they're moving the basketball better this time, and they're going to the basket. I think at times Missouri, because they have that pace of play, they settle for three-point shots. That's okay if they're open looks, but you don't want to take bad shots because that's only going to help your opponents to have better position offensively.
High post to Castleton. Kick it out, sets up the open shooter. That is perfection.
Pretty basketball.
Castleton double, finds the open Richard. Richard makes him pay. Inside Brown. Oh, nice pass down low. And the miss up close by DeGray. Gamillion makes him pay, though, from downtown.
Got to have it. For this Missouri team to be successful, they're undersized, they're smaller, they don't have a Colin Castleton. They have to make shots from the perimeter, which will allow better spacing and better dribble drive lanes to the rim.
Lofton. Baseline drive and flush. Where did that come from? Alex Fudge, the pride of Jacksonville.
Well, I saw him with LSU last year and loved his athleticism and his versatility. He's still coming into his own.
Gamillion playing big down low.
So remember in the first half, we talked about the fact that outside of Colin Castleton, it was positionless basketball. That's the one mistake I think the Tigers made. They settled too much. They can actually go to the rim. You're not facing a Uros Plavcic or Oscar Sheedway in this game, but when Colin Castleton is out.
See if Missouri goes back to the iron. Strong drive, but off the leg that time of Nick Honor. A rare turnover by Honor, who comes in number 1 in the SEC. 57 assists and just 16 turnovers, the best ratio in the league.
Interesting right now. Missouri just playing man-to-man straight up. That's a switching man-to-man.
Fudge feeling it. Castleton cleans it up, plus the foul.
Go get it, big fella. A lesson for every big man on every level. Most of the time, if you're the biggest man on the court, we know you were working for the ball, Colin Castleton, but you're big, you're long, you're athletic. If you don't get it from your teammates, go get it yourself. And that's what you love to see from the fifth-year senior, Colin Castleton.
.997 career points now for Castleton, who should reach 1,000 before this game is through.
Think about his numbers to get there. First player with 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots since 1996-1997 in the SEC.
He's come a long way. He was started his career at Michigan. Didn't really find a lot of minutes there. Nice drive that time by Noah Carter.
So what you're noticing, right, is Kobe Brown or whoever Colin Castleton's guarding is not going at him, but the other players are trying to go to the basket, which I think is an intelligent decision by Missouri.
And again, the rest of Florida's lineup is small. It's basically 4 guards out, 1 big man in. There is the big man, Castleton. Pivot, shot. A little bit of a force. Got it back, though. Castleton again.
A lot of contact on that play.
And Fudge on the follow.
Alex Fudge now coming into his own, it looks like, in the second half.
Brown rejected by Castleton, the SEC shot block leader. Over 3 swats a game, and that one worth a smile.
So as much as you love this block shot, if you're a Florida Gator fan, learn from this if you're ever attacking a shot blocker. Anytime you go away from the shot blocker, bad things are going to happen. If you're Kobe Brown, you got to go up and through the chest of Colin Castleton and draw the foul.
Carter draws the contact against the smaller Myron Jones. I like what I see out of Noah Carter.
I love his game.
Plays bigger than, he's 6'6", but he's put together. He's 235. You see that frame. That's a strong body to try to keep out of the lane.
Well, Noah Carter, we asked about Kobe Brown and his ability to enhance the other players for Missouri, and Coach Dennis Gates said, I think the other players help enhance Kobe Brown's game.
Right.
One of those players in Noah Carter, who helps floor spacing because of his ability to play the game inside out so they can't double down. And he also takes pressure off of Kobe Brown because he's got somebody else in there that's got the same size and versatility as himself.
It is an offense that has really flourished under Coach Gates in year one. They were 14th in the league in scoring last year. That's going to be offensive.
Alex Fudge playing great minutes here to start off this second half. Neither team quite able to pull away Mike Morgan. The key has been Alex Fudge. Fantastic. To the baseline. Take flight, young fella. Two-hand slam.
Now, give Florida credit. They have ratcheted up the defense against a Missouri offense that has been quite lethal throughout the season. Now, a lot of these numbers, of course, are out of conference, but they've been a tough guard, really, against anybody. You see the points, the field goal percentage, the assists, and then today, all those numbers dramatically down. If Mizzou gets to 70, they're undefeated on the year, 12-0. But less than 70, 1-3, and Fish right now, they're far away from 70.
Yeah, they've got to be able to change the pace of this basketball game. Now, give credit to Todd Golden in Florida. What they have done is taken care of the basketball in the second half. 14 turnovers in the first half. The first 4 minutes of this half, they have yet to turn over the basketball. And that's why you see Coach Dennis Gates in Missouri slowly but surely trying to apply a little bit more pressure as this half goes on.
A little full court man-to-man look here by Mizzou. Lofton hounded by Hodge, the SEC steals leader. Open three from the wing. Left short. Castleton tapped it, corralled it. Into the hands of Jones. Great ball movement. Pass a little bit low, though. Straightaway three on the way. It's true. Will Richard buries the triple.
Pretty basketball, all created off of the offensive rebound. Offensive rebounds have been an Achilles heel for Missouri as the competition level has increased.
Inside Carter. Noah Carter's really been their best option much of this second half.
Yeah, I would agree, and he's got the mismatch, right? You've got 6'8" Kobe Brown going up against 6'11" Colin Castleton. I would continue to go to Noah Carter and try to pull Kobe Brown out on the floor.
Castleton sets a screen for Lofton. Shot clock down to 3. Jones going to have to launch. Jones, back iron. And a good job defensively by Mizzou. Here come the Tigers in transition. There's that man again, Noah Carter.
Pretty
Thunderous.
basketball. Now, that's what you can do if you're able to secure the defensive rebound first for Missouri. It allows you to get out and run.
Missouri back on top. 41-40 our score, nearly 6 minutes into the action.
Colin Castleton's got a mismatch against Chameleon. You've got to get it inside, and it draws a foul at least.
Oh, you and I saw the same thing. We also saw this.
1-2, Euro, dish, the drive, and the dunk. It's pretty basketball by Missouri. And Scott Strickland, the AD of Florida, we were able to talk to at the half. A very good AD in the SEC, been around for a long time, at Mississippi State before, but, you know, he said, I like this Missouri team. They're gritty. They're fun to watch.
Well, they have been the surprise of the league in a lot of ways so far this season. Kugel, the freshman. Kugel continues. Maybe the best game in a Florida uniform for him, already with 13. Carter, heat check from the top. Reeves rips down the board for Florida, and then a foul called on Alex Fudge. A shoulder into Chameleon. And that would be the third foul on Fudge. Oh, I beg your pardon, that's on Reeves. That would just be the second on Reeves. And you see the elbow to the chin, so we know that's going to get another look.
I mean, look, anytime you see that elbow go anywhere close to the neck or the head, not only are you going to get the officials taking a look at it, but you're going to get the opposing team that sells the play. Now, I didn't feel it. I don't know if it was there or not, but it looked like there was definitely a connection between the elbow and the neck/head area on that play. Let's take a look at it again. Yeah, that's definitely, that's an elbow to the face, period. And Coach Todd Golden doesn't like it, and every coach in America knows that flopping signal. And you see that he's animated and he's very upset. That's the thing about Todd. He's a fiery competitor. And let's take a look. Excessive or unnecessary, not a legitimate play on the ball, hold or push from behind. So the question is, do they think it was excessive or unnecessary?
They will call it a common foul after the replay, a common foul. So it is the second on Reeves. Second team foul on Florida with 13:36 to go. Game's been physical from the start, but I think it's been held in check. Not dirty or overly aggressive by either side, just good hard basketball. Brown in heavy traffic, tiptoes and finds a little layup.
Love the decision because he was surrounded by Colin Castleton, but instead of fading away that time, he went up strong and exploded towards the rim.
9 points now for Kobe Brown.
If I'm Florida here, I like going right at Kobe Brown with Colin Castleton. Not only do you go to your best player, but get a chance to potentially get Brown in foul trouble.
Trying to beat Castleton. Great defense by Golston. 6 ties, 7 lead changes, 4-3 all our score. Brown playing some bully ball, takes it right in on Kyle Lofton.
That's exactly what we talked about, is the fact that outside of Colin Castleton, there's opportunity amongst the other players, and that's definitely a foul. Lofton saying he got all ball after he got the arm, and Fudge got a little bit of the left hand as well. I think the officials have done a nice job of calling this basketball.
Yeah, especially again, I mean, the harder and more physical the game is, the harder it is on the officials. Sure, you know, because fans always complain when you blow the whistle too much, but if you don't blow it in a physical game, guys are getting mauled out there. So I think they've kept it in check without being too heavy on the whistle.
Well, that's what you love about SEC fans. You know, they're passionate, but you're right. At times they do complain, even if you got a 3-time Naismith Coach of the Year and Hall of Fame coach that just went in and beat Tennessee. You got to deal with the good and the bad, right?
That's right. That's right. Very, very true. Brown, 80% free throw shooter, and tickles the twine on both. Brown will get a much-deserved breather. Missouri up to 12:49 to play, and the defense will stay tight.
Really watching Diarra closely. This is where Florida made their run. We talked about him being raw, but give credit, Coach Gates is believing in him and giving him an opportunity. He realizes they need that length and size.
Great ball movement. Jones passed up the three. Reeves will not. And another rebound, Castleton. Castleton wants more. Castleton will go to the line.
Yeah, just outmanned. You know, Colin Castleton, a fifth-year guy. He's a senior. And we talked about, you know, Diarra being raw right now. He's playing against one of the best big men in college basketball. You think about this guy transferring from Michigan, paying his dues, waiting his time. Even though there would be some twin towers over there, him and Hunter Dickerson right now.
that would be a tough matchup for anybody had he stayed. Now, Monday night SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the College Football Playoff National Championship game. You might have noticed the Georgia Bulldogs wrapped up another SEC title on the gridiron, blowing out TCU. That's going to be at 9 Eastern time, and then a look at Kentucky women's basketball, South Carolina men's basketball. Of course, those highlights of the Gamecocks will be in the dramatic win on the road against Kentucky. First win at Rupp or Carolina since 2009. And then what does Kentucky do? They just go on the road into a hostile environment in Knoxville, and they pick up, that might be that win, Fish. A month, 2 months from now, we're talking about where Kentucky figured it out.
Sure.
Somebody's going to figure out a win here tonight. Another tie, 45 all. By the way, Castleton, another double-double.
Nice.
And a great take by Diarra, the junior from France.
Yeah, #1 rated JUCO recruit in the class of 2022, averaged almost 18 and 13 rebounds. Garden City.
Mizzou has hit 7 out of the last 9 field goals.
I like the mobility Diarra showing. Pretty quick with that length and size at 6'10".
Good cut to the basket, but no finish for Richard. Here comes Mizzou racing in the front court.
Nice extra pass.
Honor in and out. Halfway down for Nick Honor. Reeves, quick trigger. Diarra down the floor. Everything but the dunk. Richard on a 3. Tap out. Reeled in by the Gators. Jones on the triple is good. Gators back on top. Timeout on the floor.
You can talk about a 5-point swing. A missed dunk by Diarra. On the other side, Myron Jones with a little string music.
Everything we had hoped for and expected, for that matter. Seesaw affair between Florida and Mizzou, a 1-point game. He is Damian Fish back. I am Mike Workman. We welcome you back inside the Exact Tech Arena. And Fish, when you're not dissecting basketball, I know you know a thing or two about money, dollars, cents. Our Fish fact of the day, we're talking about assets and liabilities.
Yeah, this is applicable to college basketball today, and that's to know your net worth. And your net worth is simply your assets minus your liabilities equal your net worth. And as we look across college basketball, even in today's game, you can see the assets and liabilities of a lot of these teams. You look at Tennessee, right? Tennessee, one of the best defensive teams in the country, but they weren't able to manufacture enough points against a stifling defense of Kentucky. Those scoring droughts hurt them. Even Georgia going in and winning against Ole Miss. Arkansas, their inability to knock down shots, even though they did score 84 points today, extremely impressive. Alabama, it's hard to find liabilities. Maybe the big men that score against them on the interior sometime, but they're doing much better than that. A&M's ability to score off of their turnovers. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses right now because it's winning time.
I think the best return on investment right now is Alabama. that's even I can look at the stock market and put some chips down on the Tide right now. I'm still looking at what's Arkansas going to hold in its future. That's an interesting start for Coach Musselman and company. Brown took it right in the trees. Brown again, hanging, firing, no. Tapped around and into the hands of the Gators.
Nice shot fake. A lot of contact that time, but Kobe Brown just has to focus and continue to complete that play.
Approaching the 10-minute mark. Castleton
that's pretty.
finds daylight.
That's pretty. The way they've been denying Colin Castleton, it was a nice set out of the timeout by Coach Todd Golden.
Castleton now over 1,000 career points. And another double-double for the senior. And picks up a foul on the other end against Kobe Brown.
You know, we talked about trying to go at Kobe Brown to get fouls. I think that they should try to do that a lot more as well. And Colin Castleton finally reached that 1,001. A little ice cream with the icing on top.
In SEC sports, the ifs are non-stop. If you're game day ready. If your team can win on the road. If that three-pointer beats the buzzer. If you love the tradition, the rivalry, the edge of your seat action on and off the court, we're right there with you. As the official bank of the SEC.
Sorry. We just can't happy with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the if.
Let's talk money on Monday.
On an urgent Fansville, Dr. Pepper.
Hurry! It's almost kickoff. I am. Oh, they locked me out! What's the password?
Okay, it's P23XR ampersand.
Dude, the caps lock is on! How much time we got?
I missed basic cable.
There we go. What is that? Oh no, I got the spinning wheel.
Fanstown by Dr. Pepper.
This commercial. Game hasn't started. They play these too much.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Take a picture.
What's that? Is that a new iPhone?
Yep, I just got the new iPhone 14 with its amazing camera at T-Mobile.
Wow.
For a limited time at T-Mobile, get 4 iPhone 14s on us and 4 new lines for $25 a line.
I pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV. Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
All right, guys, LSU, Alabama at the half. But just before we went to the break, off the LSU miss, buzzer, Jaden Bradley hits the 3. Brandon Miller has 22 points in the first half, guys. LSU has 22 points as well.
She didn't have to do him like that, did she? Alyssa didn't have to do it like that. She said Brandon Miller has 22 points.
Yeah.
LSU has 22 points.
Well, Brandon Miller, you know, if Brandon Miller was a selfish player, and thankfully for Alabama he's not, he could probably have 25 a night. I mean, he's got that skill set.
Great
What I love about him, Fish, is that he lets the game come to him, doesn't take bad shots, not out there to prove more than he needs to prove, and is the ultimate team player and winner.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because who was it, Dykes and Bill is talking about how they're a selfless team. Mark Sears was saying they're a selfless team. And it's key right now, you know, especially with this generation, you know, where a lot of people are me, or I want this. The fact that they're cognizant about sharing the basketball and they don't care who's the star as long as they win is probably why they're successful.
Oh, no question. And we've seen a lot of surefire top 5 lottery picks go through this league. Not all of them are all about winning. And it makes a difference. It shows up in the win-loss column. Brown splits the freebies. Back to a 2-point game with 9:51 to play.
You know, Missouri had so much success with their pressure in the first 5 minutes. I'm wondering if Coach Gates is going to try to apply some more pressure now, and looks like they still stay man-to-man, but they haven't really went and trapped out of that man-to-man in a while.
Jones into front court. Down low again, Castleton getting behind the defense.
I think you gotta, if you're Coach Gates, you gotta make this a 94-foot game.
Right.
Castleton's too dominant, he's too strong, he's too skilled on the interior to allow him to just go against mismatches all day.
14 and 11 for Castleton. Brown, power move. Carving out space, throws up the little baby hook, and out of bounds to Florida.
You know, Colin Castleton is going to receive the reward, but Myron Jones, he's kind of like you, making me look good on the mic. You know, he's the one that made the pass, and it wasn't an easy pass. It was right where he could just catch it and lay it in.
Right. Well, they've done that a couple of times now, and I mean, if you're DeAndre Golson, you're 6'5", and you're fronting Castleton.
6'11", right?
Yeah, that's just too difficult, and they're going to make a change here as Diarra's guarding him down low once Florida gets it into front court.
Yeah, at least now they only have to try to defend Castleton for 17 seconds.
Right. Tigers down 4. East, the lefty, pulls the trigger on a 3. Castleton tears away another rebound. Ties a season high with 12 rebounds for Castleton. Missouri hasn't hit a field goal in over 3 minutes.
Well, they go through scoring droughts when they're in the half court. That would be a liability for the Missouri Tigers for sure. Their assets, though, is getting out, trying to turn teams over 94 feet. And
Castleton, open the harm.
This is where the NIL has changed the game, right? Colin Castleton, this big fella could have went and tried to make money at the NBA or overseas, but with the NIL, you know, he's poised to come back, make a little money while he's playing college basketball. And look how much fun his teammates and him are having here in Gainesville.
Well, Todd Golden told us flat out last week that Colin Castleton was as good as gone. He had accomplished what he needed to accomplish. He was ready to take the next step in his career, and Coach Golden, again, make no mistake about it, NIL helps that decision.
Right.
And then an opportunity to maybe make his first NCAA tournament as a player.
That's right.
And Colin Castleton said, you know what, I'm going to give it another shot. He's improved his game. He's having a career year. He's benefiting from NIL, and he'll have a chance to still play professional ball.
That's a win. That's a win from Missouri right there. They forced the Gators to take a quick shot, but that's the only win they've gotten in the second half. Right now, Colin Castleton's been dominant. Big fella with the and one.
2 words, Fish. Colin Castleton.
Yeah. Well, Colin Castleton's reaping the rewards of his teammates taking care of the basketball. In the first half, they had 14 turnovers. In the last 12 minutes, only 2 turnovers. And so what he's doing is doing what he always does. Great footwork, terrific hands, high basketball IQ, decision-making, a nice mixture of strength with speed at his size. And the big fella is really taking over in this second half. 16, 12, and a couple of blocks to go with it.
Started off his career in Gainesville. Nobody knew exactly what to expect. He didn't log a lot of minutes at Michigan. You knew the size was there, the ability to protect the rim. The offensive game certainly had some work to go, had some polish that needed to be picked up. It has gotten better year by year. A career year so far. Player of the game so far. It's been a fun game to call. Mike Morgan, Damian Fishback, we welcome you to the SEC Network. Hodge has been great all year long for Mizzou. He's been kind of quiet tonight, though.
Yeah, he really has, but I think that Coach Dennis Gates had a nice look right out of the timeout. Hodge just missed the three-point shot, but the better your offensive possessions, the better your offensive rebounding lanes as well.
Tough pass thrown cross court by East, and then the foul on Golston. East would love to have that one back, and yeah, that's, if you're Coach Gates, you know that's not what you want your young guard to do.
Well, he did everything that he could do on that play. I thought it was an outstanding set when he came out, got one of his best three-point shooters, and a good look, just didn't knock it down, and then a careless turnover.
A 4-point game. A little more than 7 minutes to go. Gators have coughed it up 16 times, make it 17. Kobe Brown playing a little free safety. Brown Working on Castleton. Nothing there. Kick out pass.
How about that defense by Colin Castleton at 6'11"?
Empty trip for Mizzou. Under 7 minutes to play. Castleton wants it. Draws the double. Finds the cutter. And a miss that time by Fudge.
And Colin Castleton just ran the floor like a deer. Worked for post position and gave it up. They didn't get the finish, but it wasn't because of Castleton.
Brown matched up with Colin Castleton, and that time left it short.
Yeah, that time that was a foul by Castleton. Period.
3 ball. Got it. Will Richard. And Coach Gates of Mizzou want a timeout here. And he's going to say, wait a minute now. How is that not a foul? I'm a man, Kobe Brown, with Castleton down low.
It definitely should have been a foul, but right now, you got to give all the credit to these Florida Gators.